So let's get into this Pokemon Go upload. Just going to give a little update where I am with the game, what's going on with the game, where I'd like to see the game go, and where I'd like to go. So here we go. It's been a while since I did do an upload on Pokemon Go, and I believe it had to do with a wish list of the big update that came from Pokemon Go. And that update has come and that update has gone. There's been a rework to the gyms, which for the most part have come along, fairly nicely. I'm going to get into the gyms in a little bit here, but just giving a high level what I'm going to talk about. So I'm going to talk about the gyms. I'm going to talk about the PokeFest out in Chicago. I'm going to talk about the regional swap that's going on in Europe right now. I'm going to go into a little bit about some of the Pokemon YouTubers that I do watch, and I'm going to go into a little bit about streaming Pokemon. So let's get into it real quick. And if you guys can, it's not amongst my current subscriber base, this probably isn't a great topic for me to be commentating about. Some of them will watch and will listen, but if you are here specifically for Pokemon Go, do me a favor, drop a like on the video, share it around. I'm trying to build up my little Pokemon base so I can get more interaction with that game, especially when I start streaming it. It's really nice when you're streaming something to have a lot of that live interaction going on. So here we go. So they reworked the gyms, the big update came out, and for the most part, I kind of like the whole rework that they did. One thing that I don't like about it, if I could be, quite honest with it, is it seems like people are just dropping their Pokemon in there. I don't know for what. I mean, they're dropping in like a 200 CP Pidgey. And I guess it's just to get the hours spent in the gym to get that medal. I can't think of any other reason why they even put it there. But it's really annoying. I'm a completionist myself, especially when it comes to Pokemon Go. I do want to get all the medals, so I understand the reasoning for just dropping somebody in there, not putting one of your best, because I believe there is that still issue with the 20% drop rate of your CP if you put a Pokemon in there that's above 3,000. So I believe that's still happening. So what I've done is, quite a few of my Pokemon, I've gotten them as high as I could into like right before they hit 3,000, and those are the ones that I drop in the gyms because I want to defend gyms. I want to when I'm walking around and I spin the map, I want to see Team Instinct everywhere. I want to see yellow gyms lit up across my town, and the only thing I see now are Valor and Mystic, literally everywhere, and it really gives me a sense of accomplishment and achievement when I'm able to take down one of those gyms, drop one of my good Pokemon in there, and then along comes a dude who puts in a Pidgey and then doesn't even feed mine berries. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know what could be done. I think maybe there should be something done to reward a little bit more for feeding berries to other Pokemon other than your own. Like right now, if I feed a Pokemon a berry and it's my own Pokemon, I think I get plus 20 Stardust. Well, if I feed my own Pokemon, give me the plus 20 Stardust. But if I feed another player's Pokemon a berry, give me like, I don't know, plus 50. Why not, right? I mean, because I'm using my berries, I'm helping the team. What I'm doing is I'm trying to solidify that gym and defend it by helping my teammates out. So that's one thing that's pretty annoying about them. The other thing that's pretty annoying, and I know there's probably nothing they can really do, is if they're, and this is something that I see happening a lot too. So you see when there's a countdown, like people are taking over gyms and they're dropping one Pokemon in there, basically just to own it and get that bonus when a raid happens. Because I've seen so many raids around me where whatever team is on, and I've seen it from Team Instinct players too, where there's just like one or two low level Pokemon in there, and it was done. That gym was taken over, and those were dropped in there just to get the team bonus for the raid. So annoying. I don't know what could be done about that. Like, for me personally, even if there's a raid going on, I should still be able to go in there and fight those Pokemon, right? Like, at least get them down to 0. Maybe I can't win the gym because I would take away the team bonus for the team that has ownership of that gym, but at least let me defeat the Pokemon, get their CP down to 0. So once that raid is over, that gym's a free agent, and if I'm still there, I could take it over, or anybody who's around could take it over, right? I mean, that's kind of like one compromise I see they could do. So PokeFest came and went in Chicago. You guys probably have seen online, you saw a lot of the bad stuff. You saw a lot of the good stuff. It was the first one they did Unfortunately, it looks like the cell companies couldn't keep up with the amount of traffic that was going on. As somebody who works in the technology company, specifically a large portion of what I do is on the voice side. Yeah, those carriers probably should have paid attention to the recommendations that Niantic gave them. Niantic gave them literally traffic data and said, "This is what we're bringing to you guys in Chicago, so prepare." And they didn't. So, I wasn't there. I had no plans to go, but I don't even know if I would go to something like that unless it was here in New York City. If it was in New York City, I'd definitely go. I mean, why not to take part in something like that? But some of these people that travel from Australia, Europe, Japan to go to that and then have that happen, you spend all that money on a flight, and then they did try to recoup a lot of what damage was done by giving refunds, by opening up the radius of the event to 2 miles outside of that park. So I think Niantic did a fair enough job of trying to make up for what happened. And again, a lot of what happened really wasn't Niantic's fault. They tried to prepare the cell carriers. It didn't work out. Pokemon Go is a big phenomenon, and I don't think a lot of people realize just how popular it is in the world. I think it's somewhere around 65 million people still actively play a month. I mean, think about that. That's a lot of freaking people, And then when you're going to put on an event in one place and put out the specials like they did with the Unowns and the regional, a lot of people are going to go. I know for me, for an example, my Pokédex, I'm literally at the point where if I catch a Zapados, which comes out next week, I've basically got, right now where I'm at, I've caught every single Pokemon that can be caught with the exception of a couple of regionals. And that's only because I don't go there, right? So I'm not going to go to Australia. I'm not going to go to Japan, and I'm not going to Europe. So I'm not getting Mr. Mime. I'm not getting Farfetch'd, and I'm not getting Kangaskhan. Now, one thing that kind of boggles my mind is how the Unowns aren't released a little bit more. Like, those spawns are just, like, I understand how rare they are, but maybe they shouldn't be so rare anymore, because so many people got them at PokeFest, and so many people are getting them from spoofing, which I've never done. So, yeah, the only ones I'm missing, and they show missing in my Pokedex only because I've seen them in gyms. I guess people who have traveled or spoofers drop them in gyms. And that's the only reason I've even seen them. Now, what I would love, and I would have no problem with it, is what's going on like in Europe right now, where I guess they canceled the PokeFest that was going on there, but what they're doing is they brought a lot of regional swaps. Now, if they were, for an example, going to do a PokeFest in New York City, or so let's say North America, right? And they swap Tauros with Farfetch. I'm okay with that, because I think they realize that at this point, a lot of people either got it from spoofing, or they know somebody in one of those countries and they logged in with their account and they caught, things like, there's ways to get around it. You know what I mean? They're not that special anymore. Another idea I had, what they could do is maybe start putting some of these, I don't want to say the regionals and raids, but I don't know. I mean, if I never get a Kangaskhan, I'm okay with that. You know what I'm saying? You should have to go to that region to get that Pokemon, unless there's a special event going on and you happen to be close enough to get one. You know what I mean? So let me know down in the comments. What you guys think about that. What you think about the whole regional spawn swap that they're kind of doing right now in Europe. If you guys are like me, where you don't care too much, but you do kind of care, let me know. I'd be interested in knowing. Let me know actually. Also, if any of you have actually traveled specifically, not specifically, but if you just happen to travel and you were able to capture some of these regionals. Good example is the way I got Heracross and Corsola was I happened to go to Turks and Caicos last year, and they were all over the freaking place, right? So I was able to catch those guys down there, right? So I'm not too worried about that. And coming up here in a couple of weeks, I'm going to be heading down to Florida, and I'll probably have a chance to, maybe, because it's right on the line, it's the most northern line for them, so I might be able to catch a couple of more down there, but that's about it. So that's Pokemon. Oh, about the streaming. Let me get into streaming real quick. Got a couple seconds here left. I'm going to try to keep this around like 10 minutes, 11 minutes, because for the most part, watching Pokemon Go in the background is probably pretty boring to a lot of you. But if you're streaming Pokemon live, that could be very exciting. So I don't know if you guys know, but I kind of, in some weird way, hooked up with James. And James runs the account POKEMONGO NYC. He does live streams, I would say almost every day. I mean, at least almost every day. He's out there live streaming Pokemon. He's got the AR mode on so you can see New York City behind it. And to be quite frank, like, I wanted to be that guy. Like, I wanted to be Pokemon NYC. I looked for the Twitter I tried to do all that, but this guy already had it. And for some way we tweeted and we connected, and he was doing a live stream one day in Rock Center, which is basically, literally a spit away from where I work. I went out there, I met him, really nice guy. He had a couple of, a male and a female with him that were walking with him doing it. I mean, just a really nice guy. He's he's the first person I've ever met on YouTube, or like a YouTuber that I ever met, and really nice. And really, I watch his streams while I'm at work. He's just so nice and so positive about the game. And I want to get more into the streaming because I'm up in Westchester, so I want to do a little bit of the streaming around here where I live. But definitely while I'm at work down in the city, I mean, there's so many people who probably just want to look at New York City live while this is going on and Pokemon. So let me know if it's something that you guys might be interested in watching. I'll probably do something like a similar setup like he has. I'm going to put the link to his channel down in the description so you can kind of get an idea of, how he does it. I'm not going to be doing anything like Nick from Trainer Tips or Reversal, where, these guys have their editing skills down. I mean, Nick does some edits that are just amazing, and even Mystic 7, they really know their way around these editing programs, but I don't. And I don't have time to learn. So I'm going to do the best I can with what I got. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know again down in the comments how you feel about what I've said. If you agree with me, if you don't, let me know what you guys feel about me doing the, getting more into the streaming. And I'm going to try to get one of these Pokemon live streams going very soon. So look out for it. Later.